forest. The animals out here have really great camouflage, which means they're using natural colors and markings to blend in with their surroundings. You never know what you're going to see out here for how long. If you look off on your right side there, all the way to the top of the hill is the okapi, closest living relative of the giraffe, not the zebra, despite the stripes on its legs. It's a very shy, very reclusive animal. Was first officially documented in the forests of the Congo until the year 1901. And when you think about animal discovery, that really wasn't that long ago. Also, unlike its cousin giraffe, the okapi is a more solitary animal, which means it does not live in a big herd. It does spend a lot of its time alone. It's more advantageous for an animal like the okapi to be more solitary when it's depending on that cover of that thicker forest vegetation. Sometimes we're lucky enough to find a black rhino in these parts, but unfortunately it's becoming quite a rare sight. There's only about 5,000 black rhinos left in the whole world. They're still hunted for their horns. In fact, all 5 species of rhino in the world, they are endangered or threatened because of poaching. We're going to keep moving through this forest area here, see if we find any animals grazing out this way. Look all the way out to your left side there through the brush, you'll see some tanner antelope. Those are greater kudu. Greater kudu are the second tallest antelope in Africa, at about 5 feet tall at the shoulder. Let's head on out to the Safi River. Safi River has been known to be a pretty good place to try and find the one, the only, the Nile hippopotamus. The word hippopotamus, it comes from the Greek meaning river horse, but the most recent research shows that hippos are related to whales. Hippos are also nocturnal, and that means they like to do a lot of what during the day? Sleeping. A lot of sleeping, exactly. So the majority of the day, hippos are pretty quiet. They mostly just keep themselves submerged in the river to stay cool. They won't be their most active until after the sun sets. That's when they get out of the water to graze. Hippos are herbivores, so they eat about 80 to 90 pounds of vegetation every single night. Not the best swimmers out in the river, but a hippo can hold its breath for about 8 minutes underwater before coming up for air. So we'll move a little bit further downriver here, see if we find any hippos practicing for a breath. Immediately to our left here, though, I do see some pink-backed pelicans. Pink-backed pelicans get their name because during breeding season, their skin starts to turn a pale pink. But not in breeding season right now, though. That's why you're supposed to see the grayish and the tan colors. They're one of the smaller species of pelican in the world. They're about an 8-foot wingspan. Not really sure. What scared off those hippos? Oh, I think I found it. Look at those Nile crocodiles.
Hi!
The Nile crocodile is an apex predator. Please sit down. All the way seated. Children all the way seated. Nile crocodiles are apex predators. They're at the top of the food chain. They have a bone-crushing bite of nearly 2,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. And at about 16 to 18 feet long, full grown, a Nile crocodile could be about as long as a giraffe is tall. But we made it to the river okay, so we're going to go on out to the savannah. The savannah is a very different ecosystem with some very different animals, so we'll go see if we can find out here today. Speaking of different, out on your right side, here's a baobab tree. Baobab trees are also known as the upside down tree because it looks like its roots are sitting up towards the top. And that's because the baobab tree remains leafless for up to 9 months out of the year. This is going to help it retain water and fight the harsh African droughts. By not having leaves on its branches, it's able to release more water, less water, into the air and store more water in its roots and in its trunk. And then it can absorb that water as it goes longer into the dry season. The savannah is one of the most famous, one of the most recognizable ecosystems in all the world. Animals like lions, giraffes, elephants, zebras all call the savannah home. But unfortunately, it's also one of the ecosystems that have been hit hardest by the effects that humans are having on the environment. Looks like we found a herd of white-bearded wildebeest moving across the savannah. Wildebeest are responsible for one of the largest animal migrations in all of the world. Over 1.5 million wildebeest every year will migrate across Africa in search of fresh food and water. You may have heard wildebeest referred to as new, and that is GNU. It's for vocalizations they make. It's like a squeaky chirping sound, like a no, no. It's not nearly as cute when I do it. But the word wildebeest does come from the Afrikaans for wild beasts. They have their long, drawn faces, curly horns, shaggy beards, and that's all said to give them a pretty menacing appearance. Also on our right side, here's a herd of Ankole cattle. Ankole cattle are also known as the Watusi cattle, for the Watusi tribe in Africa that first domesticated them. They are the only domesticated animal you'll see out on this reserve.
Those are some big horns.
Check out your left side, African wild dogs. The African wild dog is not a hyena. It is not a dog you can have in your backyard. This is a separate subgroup of canids. They are one of the most ferocious hunters in all of Africa. Wild dogs have incredible endurance. Please sit your child on your lap. When these dogs hunt, they run as a pack, chasing their prey down to the point of exhaustion. They wait for it to drop, and well, circle of life takes it from there.
Yikes.
They do make sure that the youngest dogs eat first, though, so I think that's pretty nice.
Not good.
The big orange dirt mounds are brought to you by the letter T for termite. They're termite mounds, and they are made of lots of fun things like dung and saliva and mud. They bake in the hot African sun, become hard as concrete, and then animals like giraffes and elephants will use them for extra large back scratchers. If you look up ahead here to your left side, just in front of those tall grasses, you'll see a Patterson's eland. Eland are the largest members of the antelope family. This male Patterson's eland is nearly 6 feet tall and weighs in at about 2,000 pounds. Another look at the wildebeest on our right side here and the Ankole cattle. Now those horns on the Ankole cattle can grow to be about 4 feet long on each side, and they are nearly completely hollow in the middle, except for a series of blood vessels that run through them. Because the Ankole cattle, they circulate their blood externally to help keep themselves cool. Now friends, here on the reserve we do protect the trees and the tall grasses and the watering holes. But out in the wild, the places these animals depend on for food and water and shelter, that's all disappearing. And unfortunately, the animals, they're starting to disappear along with it, which is why it is so important now more than ever to make sure you are recycling your paper, plastic, aluminum cans, trying to buy products made of recycled materials, and reusing things that you already have at home. I know if I'm the only one doing this, it won't make much of a difference, but if we can all make that extra effort, it does go a long way to protect the wild Africa that still exists. Coming up on our right side here are springbok. Springbok are one of the most athletic animals in Africa. They can jump about 12 feet into the air. It's a motion called pronking. They'll do these big leaps into the air to try and frighten away predators. They're also very quick. They've been clocked at about 50 miles an hour. You can also see the tallest animal in the world moving off on our right side here. Check out the giraffes. Giraffes are going to be about 16 to 20 feet tall, full grown. The giraffes are out of this reserve are Maasai giraffes, one of 4 different species of giraffe that live in Africa. They're known for their very jagged, very irregular spot pattern. It's called a maple leaf shape. But regardless of species, no 2 giraffes have the same set of spots. They are like human fingerprints, are unique to each animal. My favorite thing about the giraffe is its tongue. Giraffes have what's called prehensile tongues. This means they can actually grip things with it. So giraffes wrap their tongues around the big tree branches, and then they can pull the leaves right off the tree. Did you know a giraffe's tongue could be up to 18 inches long?
No, I didn't know that.
Anyone know what we call a group of giraffes?
Hey, giraffe!
The tower. Who said that? Look at you, smarty pants. Well done. Color me impressed. You know the Swahili word for giraffe? Twiga. 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 If anyone has any questions, we're going to forward them to her. Now this is an area we nicknamed Monkey Point for a troop of mandrills we find out here from time to time. The mandrill is the largest monkey in the world at about 100 pounds full grown. Look up on your left side here, you can see some mandrills moving along that termite mound. There's a baby mandrill with its mom on your left. Look at the baby mandrill, there it goes, on the rocks. There it is, little baby mandrill. You can also see that alpha mandrill moving through the trees there. Now the alpha mandrill is known as the most colorful monkey in the world. He's easily recognized by the blue-red markings on his face and on his butt, and that way no matter which way you look at him, you know he's the boss.
And now I know.
Oh no, oh my gosh, this is so awkward. I'm really sorry, you guys. The road I wanted to take you down in is closed.
Oh
Man,
no.
There's storms out here that pop up from time to time. Looks like the last rain washed away that old road we take. Whew, that is unfortunate. Looks like we're going to have to take a little bit of a detour here. Being a Kuna Matata, right? No worries. Oh dear.
Oh.
Well, there's good news and there's bad news. Good news is I've seen bridges far worse than this one. Bad news is I haven't been over any of those bridges.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, it doesn't sound very good. Alright, well let's just think happy thoughts. Believe you can fly. Front tires get over, I'm safe. Crushed it. And it still looks like we have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's close enough. Onward we go. Oh, look on your right side. Can you see those tusk marks in the red clay?
Yeah?
Elephants use red clay as a source of vitamins and minerals. They knock it loose in their tusks and they'll eat it. Kind of like you take a daily multivitamin. Now, unfortunately, elephants, they face a number of dangers in Africa. Not only are their habitats being destroyed, but elephants are still hunted to this day for their beautiful ivory tusks. Elephants are still slaughtered for their ivory, and that ivory is sold to highest bidders as souvenirs and decorations. The easiest way to protect elephants is to refuse to buy products in any way, shape, or form. A lot of people do not know where ivory comes from, but I'm telling you now that ivory, it always comes at the expense of an elephant. We can tell a lot about the elephant from looking at its herd. An adult male elephant tends to be pretty solitary. He'll only join a herd with females during breeding season. When we see more than one elephant gathered together, we know that's going to be females with their young.
Say hey, elephant.
After a 22-month-long pregnancy, an elephant gives birth to a 200-pound calf, and that calf will stay with its mother for about 13 to 15 years. Giving elephants the longest pregnancy of any mammal on Earth, but only the second longest childhood, and that is second to what? People, that's right. Elephants are also a matriarchal animal, which means their herds are going to be led by the strongest, oldest female of the herd. Coming up on our left side here, you also see some greater flamingos. The greater flamingo is the lightest pink of all the flamingo species. Although when any flamingo first hatches, it is so not pink, it's a grayish-black color. It takes about a year of eating shrimp and other crustaceans, rich in a protein called beta-carotene, and it's a buildup of beta-carotene that turns their feathers pink. We call a group of flamingos a flamboyant 2 for 2. Well done.
How do they know this? Because they read. Look. That's a baby one there. Oh no.
Well, 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 I think we found some zebras. Now these are Grant zebras, one of 3 different species of zebra that live in Africa. The zebra is famous for its black and white stripes. It's a form of camouflage called disruptive coloration. Those stripes will help break up their body lines by mimicking a pattern of sunlight breaking through the brush, and that's going to help make them more indistinguishable to predators like lions. But the zebra is also incredibly strong, so strong that a zebra, it could break a lion's jaw with one kick.
Ouch.
A lot of times I also get asked if zebras are black with white stripes, are they white with black stripes, does it matter? Well, it matters to the zebras. Zebras are actually black with white stripes, and we know that because the nose of the zebra or its muzzle is completely black, so the highest concentration of one color is considered that black on top of their nose. So, there you go, black with white stripes.
Hey, Marty.
Oh, look up ahead here, we found some white rhinos. The white rhino is the largest species of rhino in the world at about 5,000 pounds full grown. The skin of the white rhino is so tough and thick that it's nearly completely impenetrable, so the white rhino has no natural predators. The only thing that hunts rhinos in the wild is
People.
people, that's right. So one of the projects the Disney Conservation Fund is involved with is plenty of education and training for teams in Africa to continue to monitor the safety of these animals. They're also not really right. Spoiler alert. Their name comes from a mispronunciation of an Afrikaans word, vite, which means wide, and refers to that big, strong upper lip. Perfect for mowing down tall grasses on the savannah. Okay, my genius friend, what do we call a group of rhinos?
Herd.
Is that a stumper? Did I win? Crash. Crash of rhinos. You'll get it next time. Now this is the rock formation known as a kopie. Kopies are a pretty good place to try and find lions. They like to use the different elevations of the rock to look out for their pride and spot prey. Seems for me to say. Lions see about 6 times better at night than they do during the day, and during the day they see about as well as you and I can. So it's not unusual to find lions remaining inactive for up to 20 hours a day. They do a lot of lying around. We'll definitely keep moving amongst these rocks here, see if we can find any lions working on their 20 hours. See a couple of ostrich out on our right side here, and also to your left there is the lion. I can see a male lion and a female, a lioness. Now what do we call the group of lions?
Pride.
The pride, you've got it. So pride is going to consist of one male and several females. On your left side here, here's a male and a couple of females laying behind him. When it comes to the social dynamic of a pride of lions, it's the male lion who protects the pride, but it would be the female, the lioness, who goes out and does the hunting. She's bringing home the bacon. What is the Swahili word for lion?
Most pride.
Simba. Simba. A couple of warthogs to your left. Warthogs are a burrowing mammal. These are tough snouts and strong front feet to dig burrows like you see out in the mud here. Warthogs aren't the same family as domesticated pigs, but they are far more territorial and aggressive, and their little legs can carry them about 30 miles an hour. On your right side here is the tallest bird in the world. That's the ostrich. Ostriches are going to be about 9 feet tall, full grown. They cannot fly, thank goodness, but they're still able to reach speeds of about 40 miles an hour on foot. They also only have 2 toes. And they can crush bones with their feet. And their brains are about the size of quarters.
Oh.
If you look up on your left side here towards the top of the hill, you'll see the scimitar horned oryx. The scimitar horned oryx is native to the dry and arid deserts of northern Africa. This animal can go upwards of 9 months without a fresh source of water, getting all the water it needs from the plants that it eats. Since this is a desert-dwelling animal, it does have another really cool adaptation. It's a little bit hot. While the human body rests comfortably at about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, the scimitar horned oryx will not break a sweat until its body temperature reaches about 115. It's named after a Middle Eastern sword called the scimitar sword, for those crescent-shaped horns. Have you ever seen Aladdin? Have you remember the swords that the palace guards carry? Those are scimitar swords. And with that, friends, unfortunately, our time together, it is coming to an end. I do hope you got to see some of your favorite African animals, and I hope you've learned a little bit more about them. I hope you've seen that no matter where you're from or where you're going, you can still have a positive impact on the lives of these animals. Whether that's getting involved with the Disney Conservation Fund or making sure you're recycling to help protect natural habitats, there's so much we can do to help. You're taking the first step by being here today and learning about the animals, but now we have to go out and share that knowledge, because remember, you and I, we are these animals' biggest allies in the fight against poaching, habitat loss, and climate change. These are all completely preventable things that we can change. If you want to get to know more about the African wildlife today and more ways to help protect the animals, when we get back to the Warden's Post, go ahead and walk up that pathway, keep to your right, and take a walk down the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Walk down the trail there, you might be able to see a family troop of western lowland gorillas, slender-tailed meerkats, and another one of my favorite animals, the naked mole rat. Now, friends, I don't want to say goodbye. I just feel it's far too sad and it's way too final. I mean, we saw lions, we saw rhinos, we saw elephants together, and in Africa that makes us friends. So I don't want to say goodbye to my friends, but I will say Kwaherini. This is an old Swahili phrase that means to go well. So Kwaherini, everyone. My name's Melissa, and it has been an absolute pleasure being here with you today. If you have any questions, I hope you'll come up and ask. Otherwise, have a lovely evening in Africa or wherever your adventures take you. Jump, Warden!